is up, Kaiju not Kaiju fans? Godzilla Kaiju here, and welcome to the first episode of the Godzillathon podcast. I am here with Mr. Agno Goji, and we are here to talk about the movie that started it all, Gojira, that was released on November 3rd, 1954.
True masterpiece of all time.
I'm going to keep how I did with the first attempt with King of the Monsters 56 and Gigantus the Fire Monster, having them be in their own episode.
It makes perfect sense because they're both pretty different.
So let's get started with the origins. Obviously, Hiroshima and Nagasaki bombing and the Lucky Dragon No 5 incident from the beginning atomic testing. And I believe there was a story with, I think, Tanaka flying over the ocean after the botched production of some war film, and he looked down and was all like, yeah, pretty much. I wonder, if a giant monster would be under there. And then, with those three things combined, there we go.
It's also, you can tell that was the design of Godzilla was also heavily inspired by the Rita Sortis from the previous film a year before.
Yes, and we'll get into more detailed things about the design a little bit later. So, cast and crew. It was produced and distributed by Toho, produced by Tomoyuki Tanaka. It was directed and partially written by Ishiro Honda, who is also a war veteran. His assistant director is Koji Kajita. It's written by Takeo Murata and Shigeru Kayama. The music is by the fantastic Akira Ifukube. Special effects directed by Eiji Tsuburaya. Cinematography by Masayo Tamai. For the cast, we got Akira Takarada as Hideto Ogata, Momoko Kochi as Emiko Yamane, Akihiko Hirata as Dr. Daisuke Cesar, Takashi Shimura as Dr. Kyohei Yamane, Sachio Sakai as reporter Hagiwara, Ren Yamamoto as Masaji, Toyoaki Suzuki as Shinjiki, and finally, we get the star of it all,
Hayao Nakajima as Godzilla himself.
As well as some scenes being Katsumi Tezuka because of the suit that is spilled. But that's for another video or another person to do. Before we go on to our thoughts of the story, actors, special effects, character design, music, so on and so forth, we're going to go through our history of this film. Now, obviously, I never had the original on VHS because I lived in, well, I'm still living in my city in the United States, and I was a kid when I had some of these films, so VHS. But around 2010, 2013, I got Classic Media's Gojira, the original Japanese masterpiece Toho Master Collection DVD.
Yeah, I have to say the same thing, but it wasn't. I think I got it around 2007, I believe, was when parents finally got like the freaking Gojira DVD Blu-ray set. And I think that was the first time I ever saw this film, and I absolutely fell in love with it.
Alright. Next is our thoughts on the story, acting, so on and so forth. So, do you want to start with your thoughts on the story?
As far as the story, I think the story is pretty good. It's been, to be honest, this film has like the best story in any Godzilla film. Because they use Godzilla as the terror, use him as a metaphor for the bombing of Hiroshima and Nagasaki and the Lucky Day Dragon of the Castle Bravo testing, and they use him very well. Like, hey, here's Godzilla. You need to stop him because he's gonna kill lots of innocent civilians. And when they do show the attack, it is pretty brutal. Like, I can always remember that scene of when the mother holding her children, basically saying they're gonna die. I always remember that scene.
Yeah, same. So my thoughts on the story, it's simple for today's standards. It is, let's be honest. But it is still as effective as ever.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. The story has been effective, and there's a reason why it started the franchise.
And it did well with balancing the political, kaiju, and, well, other human aspects.
Yeah, I agree. It did well with humans. It developed the most important character, Dr. Cesar and Akira, and Emiko and Akira Takarada, also known as Hidito.
and the themes of this film shows really well through the story.
Yeah, the story does show a little well. There really ain't any problems with the story. I wouldn't have to say there's no problems with the story. I have no problems whatsoever.
Yeah,
The only thing I
yeah.
The only thing I can say that I have a problem with the story is probably the love triangle. It's not really that important to the plot.
Yeah, with the whole love triangle thing. I mean, it works, but it could also work as like three friends. very close friends. But I can understand why they did it. So, which actually leads us into our thoughts on the acting pretty well.
Yeah, it's done pretty well. They all bring their A performance to their acting
Yeah,
for
no,
their first big film.
yeah, and no one, in my opinion, was like over the top like some later films.
Yeah, I have to agree. Even with one of my favorite films, which we'll get to later on, but they ain't no bad acting with this film.
Yeah, this is a Godzilla film that is very much has like the least cheese.
The only cheese I can say is about this film is the Godzilla puppets. That's
Yeah,
cheesy.
no, obviously, in my opinion, one of the best scenes that showcases this acting is what you said earlier about the mother with her children. I can see that happening like during like the fire raids, during the American bombing fire raid things.
Yeah, I can see that happen. See that happening too. Basically, just them, her mother holding them, telling them that they're gonna die soon, which is so freaking dark.
And that they're going to see their father.
Yeah, that they're gonna see the photo.
Yeah. So don't really have much else to say on the acting. So let's move on to the special effects. Now, some, if not most, of the special effects still work well today. You'll also have those outliers with a film like this that looks not good.
The special effects, in my opinion, do work well when it's in the suit, but when you see the hand puppet, it does kind of look cheesy. A little
Oh
bit.
yeah. And of course, we have to mention this. This is technically the first kaiju film that establishes pseudomation.
Oh yeah, I forgot this was the first kaiju from the Saber animation. Forgot.
And
well,
yep,
technically it was.
yeah.
You should have mentioned that King Kong of Lost film way
Oh yeah,
back then.
the
That
two King Kong films. Yeah, King Kong made in Japan and King Kong. No, no, it. Yeah, and then King Kong appears in Edo, I think.
yeah,
Uh,
those were technically the first kaiju films with suits, but
well,
due to the
one wasn't really a kaiju film. It was just a like comedy. Oh, I can be in a kaiju film. Totally. Let me put on the suit, and then the other the other one was just kind of made as a normal kind of ape looking thing. So I don't could
not much we know about these films because due to the bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, most of the film is lost in time, so we'll never
yeah.
know what happened in these films.
Yeah, the information I get is from the Lost. Is from
Wikizilla.
LeMay's Lost Kaiju film book, Tokusatsu book that I have. Anyways, we're getting far off track here. But yeah, so I will say that I am happy that Tsuburaya was able to throw in some stop motion in there because we all know how much he loved the original King Kong.
Yeah, there's only like one scene that I can see stop motion in. Is that when he rides the tail to take down the theater that people are watching in, and I can also remember that. I also remember some stories about people actually running out of the theaters.
Yeah, I heard about that.
That people that they thought they were actually getting attacked by Godzilla.
And the fire truck one.
That one too. But there really isn't that much stop motion in this film. It's only used sparingly, mostly for the city, mostly a couple times in the city destruction scene. Other than that, they usually just use Godzilla to breathe his atomic breath, or Godzilla with a puppet, which does It looks really cheesy.
I will get to that on the character, on our thoughts over those character design. Anyways, so the miniatures are great looking, even by today's standards.
Yeah, for its first film, it did miniatures and special effects. Miniatures look amazing, and you can tell, and you feel like these are actual buildings being destroyed.
Hmm.
Like, it's so lifelike and real. The miniatures are so great. Everything's so great.
Now, one scene that I think shows the animation the best is when Godzilla goes through the electric wires in his second rampage.
Yeah, and that scene is probably the best of the Tsunami of when Tsunimation is shown best. Because you see him trying to get through, and then people are trying to shoot at him, but it's not working. And then he just tears right through it. Nothing.
It also shows the skill.
Yeah, and how powerful this Godzilla is. Not even electricity can stop this thing.
Oh yeah. So, thoughts on the kaiju design?
So far as kaiju design goes, when it's not the hand puppets, which looks very cheesy, like I said before,
Yep.
it's not the hand puppets. The suit itself looks amazing for the first Godzilla suit.
Hmm.
We should also talk about the previous film that came out last year, the year before, the Reheatosaurus, which
Oh yeah.
is heavily inspired by. You can tell from Godzilla and the Reheatosaurus that some things were inspired by the Beast from 20,000 Phantoms. Like even the nuclear bomb testing was inspired by the Beast from 20,000 Phantoms. Only a few things.
Yeah.
Mostly the design was inspired by Godzilla. If there wasn't no Beast from 20,000 Phantom, we wouldn't have the Godzilla we know today.
Yeah, we would probably have like that octopus one.
Or or the real concept of Godzilla
Oh
that has
yeah.
a mushroom head.
Oh yeah. I mean, his head still kind of looks like that.
Godzilla-ish.
I mean,
But
his head shaped.
yeah, okay.
But I this is one of my favorite designs because it has all the elements that, in my opinion, works like the best. Like him with his ears, with his fangs, with his
Hands and legs and everything
yeah.
about the design, especially the dorsal plates. The dorsal plates look amazing on this suit.
Oh yeah. Props
And
design. They tried. They did some props of trying, but it looks nothing like like the actual suit.
yeah, I think they just ran. I think they just use that for because they ran out of budget to actually film the suit in, or mostly because the suit was too heavy to
Oh
weigh
yeah.
to do the scenes in.
Oh yeah.
So just to save on time,
Yeah.
they used a puppet to
Yeah.
film those
They.
scenes in.
Yeah. I feel bad for the suit actors.
Because the suit actor, this suit weighed like what 300 pounds, and walking the suit feels like a struggle. Like you can barely walk in one step at a time. But what Hiro Nakajima managed to do in the suit was amazing.
Mhm.
Took forever to do. Like I remember the first time he walked in the suit, he literally fainted, and they had to get him up.
Yeah. I mean, them having two suit actors for this first film probably helped Haruo. Next is the music from Ikura Ifukube. For me, it was perfect for the film. It was silent when it needed to be, and it can be foreboding at times.
Music is amazing, like always. Like I think with any Godzilla film, the music is amazing, except for like one film that I can think of, which, yeah. But the film and the music really sense these scenes perfectly. Like it pairs these scenes like perfectly well, especially for the city destruction scenes and the first time Godzilla makes an appearance. Well, the first time he beats his time back on the Lucky Day Dragon. Like it opens up well. The music does hold up well, and especially his iconic theme, the main title, and later on used in city destruction scenes, the
Yeah.
that his main theme, I which will be used so many times.
Oh yeah. So our overall thoughts on this film. I believe it's a solid entry of the franchise. It has a great message. It has some of the best characters, and it is one of the best Godzilla films.
Yeah, final thoughts pretty much the same. I think it has one of the best characters in any Godzilla film, except for maybe two. But I wouldn't consider it my favorite, but it is up there in the top three. I do love this film. It's one of my favorites to look back on, and it is one of the best films ever made, and it's pretty well made, in my opinion. Like, you can tell how much work went into this film and how long it took them to make this film.
Oh yeah.
And it was made really well. Any other thoughts?
Nope. I do want one to just get your plugins to your channel and whatnot.
You can follow me on Twitter at @Nogoji, Instagram at @Nogoji, Facebook at @Nogoji, and YouTube as @Nogoji. Find me pretty easy to find me.
Mm-hmm. And you guys already know where to find me. So that's it for this first episode of the Godzillathon podcast. This is Godzilla Karu.
This is @Nogoji, signing out.